Previously on the Wrestling Nerd broadcast.
Okay, who are the last two in the bubble brawl? Oh, look who it is. Oh, Okada version 1 is better. I was first and I'm so detailed. No! Okada version 2 is better. I'm silky and smooth. Oh yeah? Oh yeah? Quit looking at me, invisible Rich Swan microdollars yet to be released. Didn't win WrestleMania. People think I'm crazy. But I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. There's special powers in this thing. No one saw Rich Swan. I saw Rich Swan. I don't have the crown, but I have this. DM me. I'll give you more info. Yeah.
You're watching DaveCTh. Now here's your host, the voice, Dave Canning. It's you, it's me, it's DaveCTh. It's you, it's me, it's DaveCTh. Let's start the show.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. It is you, it is me, it is NRD. And with us today, the man who produced the theme song you just listened to. That is right, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tom Sasso. Tom, welcome back, my friend.
Welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
First two-time guest on the
Yes,
pod.
our first two-time guest.
I'm
but you
shooting
know
for
what?
3.
As good as it is to be back on this show, Tom, it is even better to be the king. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Yours truly. 10 out of 14 right at Mania. I would have even had the tiebreaker if it came down to it. The man, the myth, the legend, the king. KingCTheVoice. That's right. I don't know when I'm going to defend this crown next, but when I do, I'm not letting it go. You will have to kill me to get this out of my hand or head, whatever. I'm never taking it off. I shower with this thing on. It's plastic, so it's not going to rust.
Soon enough. No longer am I the real world champion.
You were never the world champion.
This is a Game of Thrones.
Like I said, you were Moose wearing a fake crown and not a champion whatsoever.
I put my crown away for now. It's been
because it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
Like Thanos. Boom. I've never even seen the Avengers, but I know that joke. I know, shocking.
Soon enough.
But we are back, episode 14 of the Wrestling Nerd broadcast. We are happy to have everyone back. And unfortunately, today is going to be a little bit of a somber tone, unfortunately, because April 15th, 2020 last year, when the whole pandemic kicked off, WWE made the move of budget cuts and releasing, I think it was 20 people last year. And now a year to the day later, we record this on Thursday. It is April 15th. They have released, let me see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, if I'm counting correctly, as of recording time. 10 members of the WWE roster. Those people include Samoa Joe, Billy Kay, Peyton Royce, Chelsea Green, Mickie James, Wesley Blake, Kalisto, Tucker, Bo Dallas, and Mojo Rawley. And it is insane that they have to cut all these people because they had record profit numbers in 2020. And if I'm not mistaken, what I read was that they could have kept everyone that they cut on the payroll and still had record-breaking profit, which is just, yeah. I mean, I know business is business, but if there's one tweet I saw that is going to put a silver lining on all this, I believe it was Mike Bennett that tweeted it, and he said that this is the biggest blessing in disguise. You know, I think I saw Bo Dallas hadn't been on WWE television since October 2019. I thought I don't know if anybody else had this theory, but I thought he was in the Fiend costume at WrestleMania.
Yep, we were messaging about that.
Yes, because he looked very slim. I was like, wow, Bray cut weight in his time off. And then I'm like, then he comes back. I'm like, he's a little thick now in that sweater. Maybe it was Bo. And then that just whole idea went out the window. I think the most shocking has got to be Samoa Joe. I think fairly, that dude should have been a world champion by 3 times by now. And it's just, I mean, I think I talked about it with Tom earlier when we were texting, but I don't know what his medical status is. So I don't know if and that's the thing. They don't give a reason as to why wrestler A, B, and C were released. They just, chalked it up to budget cuts. And I don't know if Joe is healthy and they wouldn't let it, if his doctors cleared him, but WWE's doctors wouldn't clear him if they just wanted to keep him a commentary and he didn't want to do that anymore, but if he's healthy, I'm just going to say this so it's in the universe. Samoa Joe versus Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
It would be great.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Who would you guys want to see Samoa Joe face if he could face anybody? Tom, let's start with you.
Oh man, Kenny Omega would be a huge match.
Yep.
Honestly, I'd like to see Samoa Joe. I think Samoa Joe Wardlow would be a good match.
Wardlow.
I'm kind of a Wardlow fan.
You just like his hair.
No, I like him. He's kind of nice looking.
I mean, if you do ask any member of the Dark Order, they all do think he is a handsome
Mm-hmm.
man. If you ask
no, Dark Order, Samoa Joe, Hangman.
Samoa Joe, John Silver.
Oh, Battle of the Biceps.
Oh, get that. John Silver's shoulder will be ready in 90 days. Book it. Tony Khan, you're welcome. All Out 2020. John Silver, Samoa Joe versus Kenny Omega in a triple threat match for the title.
Perfect.
You're welcome. Nick, who do you want to see Samoa Joe wrestle? If he could wrestle anyone.
I would think maybe if he's going to AEW, maybe like Lance Archer. I think that'd be a cool fight. But I got one. I don't know where it would be at, but CM Punk.
That would happen at the Walter Pannis High School Gymnasium, probably. Because it's the only place Punk is going to want to fight. Just under a mask, in a sweatshirt, just quick run in action.
But I think if anybody could get Punk to come back for a fight, Punk said he would. I read somewhere he said he would only come back if he thought the program was right and the right opponent. And
that would be
what started it all, basically, wasn't it?
Because did they when I've never really watched much Ring of Honor. I feel like I got to sneeze, so I'm sorry in advance. But didn't CM Punk beat Joe? Hold on. Okay, there it is. Whew. Told you. But don't you shake your head at me. People sneeze. It happens.
Royalty sneezes. This is news to me.
I've never seen a king sneeze.
Because you've never seen a king like me.
He's going to take us all out. Oh, no.
This episode brought to you by Kleenex, the king's tissue preference.
Oh, God.
But no, what was I saying? Something about when Punk left and he dropped the title, did he drop it to Samoa Joe? I'm not sure if anybody else watched.
I don't. It was a long time ago, but I know that they had a series of really, really, really good matches in Ring of Honor between the two of them. It was the Summer of Punk.
Not the one WWE messed up.
No,
the real Summer of Punk.
The WWE one was the redo.
Kevin Nash running
reboot.
By the way, drinking Stone Cold's Broken Skull IPA tonight, folks. So Stone Cold, if you watch this and you want to send me more, it would be much appreciated, sir. Anybody watch Stone Cold's Jericho podcast, by the way?
No.
On Peacock?
I listened to Talk is Jericho this week.
I haven't watched it. See, I thought it was two separate things. I'll listen to it this weekend for sure. Ryan, who do you want to see Samoa Joe wrestle if you could see him wrestle anywhere or anyone?
I was gonna say Punk, so I'm gonna go with I was doing some reading, seeing them go back and forth after Joe got released. A weird one, but Christopher Daniels, I don't know. See because I'm not sure, again, like you said, Joe's been doing a lot of commentary, getting injured, coming back to commentary, so maybe there's not a ton left in the gas tank. So let him have a one last match perhaps.
I think he could go for sure. Like I said, and obviously I'm not going to be like, oh man, he's got to come back. If he's not healthy, I don't want to see him wrestle. That's the big thing. It's like, I hope Kurt Angle in the end of his career. I loved Kurt Angle, but watching that match at WrestleMania Live, I was nervous. I was like, God, I hope he's okay. But Health is number one, folks. Let them be healthy. Let them be happy. Let them wrestle in that order. I don't care how much they make. But so we also said we had Billy Kay and Peyton, Royce, Chelsea Green, Mickey James, Wesley Blake, Kalisto, Tucker, Bo Dallas, Mojo. I guess we can kind of go around down the list of where we think each one will come or wind up. So let's start with Ryan. Where do you think Samoa Joe winds up?
My first thought was Impact. That's where I first knew about him, but Ring of Honor, he did a ton. But I'm thinking AEW. Even as commentary and a big name, I think they're going to want to pick him up. They won't let him go. They'll do what they can to get him.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think AEW is a perfect fit. Just after seeing the GIF of when Samoa Joe was the NXT champion, he shoves MJF against the wall when he was a scary guy. The story's there, folks. And MJF has already
good opponent right there too. That's the match I want to see.
Exactly. And MJF has already said, "Stop sending me that damn GIF." So
Yeah,
it's there, folks. MJF's body is imprinted in the wall at the Barclays Center.
Yeah.
Nick, what do you think?
I mean, now I want to say AEW too. I mean, it depends on his health. I mean, if he's cleared and can wrestle, AEW no brainer. But if he can't wrestle, I could see him going maybe to Impact and doing commentary, and maybe like some agenting, and stuff. But I mean,
Tom, what about you? Where do you think Joe winds up?
I wouldn't mind AEW. Even if he's not healthy, that dude can cut a promo hard.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing him like with that new Elevation Dark, him and Paul White doing commentary together might be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, with the MJF thing, I think even if Joe can't wrestle, he can just rip MJF a new butthole every day.
A thought I just had with Joe going to AEW. What if, like, I would like to see Joe make his own little stable, like his own team Taz, and cuts a promo. I just want to see Taz and Joe go at it in a promo off.
Yes.
Like that would, like Taz just yelling sugar, honey, ice, and tea, every fifth word on AEW. It took you a second to get that one, huh? So we get around cursing on this show. Love you, Mom. So then we have the Iconics, Billy Kay and Peyton Royce. Do you guys think they stick together or go separate ways, perhaps? Anybody want to try? Let's go with Nick. Who do you think they stick together, go somewhere separate?
Yeah, I think they stick together. I mean, they're better as a group. They came when I was really, really into NXT, and I used to go. I mean, I living here in Florida. They used to do like what they call, I think they call it like the pineapple loop or whatever, and like little tiny bingo hall shows basically. But I mean, I've seen like Nakamura and Samoa Joe and Finn Balor, all these people fight there in these like little 150 people arenas. But they were like the staples of the show. I remember when Billy Kay was not Billy Kay, Peyton Royce. When she was first starting out, she cut a promo on one of these things, like with a rose, and it was like the worst promo ever. And the crowd turned on herself. It was one of the situations where I couldn't even, I like look down at the floor. It was like that awkward of a situation. To see how much she's improved since then and stuff, I just definitely feel like they're going to stay together. And I think they should go to AEW too. I think AEW's women's division needs help. I think that they would be a good, strong tag team, babyface or heel, whatever. Her husband's already there. It just all makes sense.
And Tom, where do you think the Iconics go?
AEW just makes sense with Spears being there, and I really like the Iconics. I was bummed when they broke them up. But no, I think that like the AEW women's division could use something. I love it, but like it's missing something, and I think the Iconics could really bring just their like wackiness, but like incredible athleticism to it. So.
Now, so you say that the AEW women's division needs something. I think that there's something that's not in the AEW women's division that's in the Impact women's division. That's the women's tag titles. So yes. I could see the Iconics going to Impact and elevating those titles because they have more of an actual tag division, which, so I could see the Iconics fitting in at Impact, and that means Chelsea Green goes to AEW, I see. Because since AEW just has a singles women's division and not a tag division per se, I think it makes more sense to go after single stars over tag stars. And that's why I think Chelsea winds up in AEW, splitting up partners. I know, but the forbidden door's open. So,
but what if Billy and Peyton are in a team?
Well,
but they
then
both
this
go to
whole
AEW. They could feud hard.
they could,
Yeah.
and my point is mute. So
Take that, King.
off with his head. Who invited this guy? Dang.
I think it was you.
Yeah, it was
I think so.
This is why kingship don't work everywhere else. This is why we have democracy here in the good old US of A. R.I.P. Prince Charles. We miss you, man. Put this back on.
Charles?
Prince Philip. Whoops.
Okay.
I just broke somebody's heart. Like, what? So yeah, I mentioned Chelsea. Oh, wait, Ryan, I didn't get to you on that.
Real quick, I mean, I'm probably I'd want everything to go to AEW. I don't see it happening. I know they're close friends in real life, so I think and hope they'll stay together. Maybe the first female members of the Pinnacle. Maybe we get some. I like when reality comes to wrestling and the fans geek out. It'd be cool to see husband and wife together.
I think that would be cool. You could almost do like, imagine if they did like a 3-couple blood and guts match. Almost, you have, or could you? Am I thinking of 3, 4? I can't even think of how many. You have Adam Cole and Britt Baker, Cardona and Green, Sean Spears and Peyton Royce. Do we have a 4th? Let's go with Cody and Brandy, Mickey James and Nick Aldis. I think that'd be pretty awesome. Some fatal 4-way newlyweds game. Cody's gonna host the newlywed game on TNT with Snoop Dogg.
Loser gets thrown into tax.
No. Thorns that they clipped off the roses.
Oh, yeah. It's got to be romantic.
Boom.
But really, it would be Luther throwing Serpentico into it, because isn't that the good thing now? Where Luther like throws Serpentico at all the opponents.
So we brought up couples. So we've got Chelsea Green next. Matt Cardona is technically an Impact, technically a free agent. He's here. We know that he's here. Not there. He's here. So do we think Chelsea goes to Impact to be with him? AEW? Tom, what do you think?
Okada in New Japan. Chelsea Green versus Okada.
I mean, I'm here for it. I'm here for any Okada match.
It won't happen, but I can dream.
I mean, I'm here for that. I think that could, we've seen Kenny Omega fight a 12-year-old, an 8-year-old girl, something like that. Why not?
Kota Ibushi fight a blow-up doll. So
I'm about to say, and a blow-up doll.
And they say we're wacky here on the western part of the world. Nick, how about you? What do you think Chelsea Green winds up?
I feel like she's going to end up. I mean, I could see her going to Impact. I mean, that's where she pretty much made her start at and stuff. But I just feel like once again that AEW is going to scoop her up, and she's going to add.
Ryan, you were thinking that Chelsea Green was going to be due for a new Brawler edition, but not looking like it now.
No.
The hot mess is back.
Yeah.
Shout out to Pro Wrestling Tees for just like that. Got that stuff back up, ready to
Big
go.
sidebar. Did you think they have like a folder somewhere of just like everybody, like if you get released, we're ready?
Exactly. Like Ryan's like, I'm ready to fold. I'm ready.
Ryan's not golden.
Cardona's a crazy person. He probably already had all that stuff ready. He's probably like, just in case, break the glass.
In case of emergency, break open this T-shirt press in the garage. Boom.
Yeah, he's probably got 15 designs, exclusive brawlers, everything's all ready to go.
Chelsea Green was actually released so they could put her new brawler in the major pod box. That's who it is. That's who's in the major box. There's going to be a Laurel Van Ness and a hot mess Chelsea Green new edition brawlers in that box. There you go. Spoiler alert, everyone. That's Ryan. Did everyone answer where they think Chelsea's going?
I think I guess the romantic in me. I want to see all the couples. Like when wrestling couples can work in the same company, it makes me really happy. When they're working, separate, I just think about probably never see each other. It's so sad. So I'd like to see her go to Impact, but I agree with Nick. I could see her making a big impact in AEW, a fresh start. And she did tweet that maybe she'll meet Pentagon Jr. sooner rather than later, going back to their Lucha Underground match, which I just finally finished Lucha Underground. So
I got to watch that.
I love it. I love Lucha Underground. I don't know.
Okay, I can see that. Like I said, I think AEW would be a great fit. You know, that's a major star to get up there. I think the way that Britt Baker's going right now, I think she will eventually win. Hopefully, I've said this like every time there's been a women's match. I was like, Britt Baker's going to win that title any day now.
I'm pretty sure that those two are like best friends in real life too.
Yeah,
They're really close.
Oh yeah, I saw their tweets or something the other day. So because they all live right in that same area, pretty much in Florida, I think.
But if they go to Impact, they can go to AEW as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's all the same thing now, basically.
What are we talking? This is just a mess. This isn't WWE. If you work for one company, you can go to any company. So
You work for them all.
exactly. You can work for WWE or everybody else because everybody else is not crazy like Vince McMahon. So I guess last one we'll do with predictions. We'll go with Mickie James. She's been around for 15 years in WWE, something like that, close to. Ryan, you look deep in thought. Where do you think Mickie James winds up?
Well, I was just thinking maybe she'll want to delve deeper into motherhood, maybe, but I could see her not wanting to go out on her own terms. My answer is the same as yours, Dave. You'd said it previously. I see her go in the NWA with her husband.
I was gonna say I haven't given my answer yet, you cheater. Just like Fastlane.
You picked me first, so I stole your answer.
I feel obligated. Like if I'm introducing a question, I have to let somebody else go first. It's rude if I just give my answer.
That's very true. You're such a good king.
But I was listening to, I think it was Cultaholic went live, like when all the releases were going down. They were like, oh, this person could go here, this person could go there. And like Mickie James, she can wrestle, she could coach. And I'm like, let's not forget that girl can sing. Her country album, like, I don't know, a lot of people are always into country music, but she can sing. Like, whoo, girl got pipes. So I wouldn't mind if she just got back in the studio, released another album, like hardcore country too. Probably the only one on this ship, but you know what? I'll die on that island. So, Nick, where do you want to see Mickie James wind up? And don't say on the couch next to you.
I feel like she's gonna retire. I mean, she might do like a match or two in NWA or something like that. But I don't know. I grew up in Maryland, and I don't know if anybody's up here is familiar with Maryland indie wrestling, though. But there was like a Maryland Championship Wrestling that I used to always go to, and she was from Virginia. She's probably 5-6 years older than me and stuff like that. But she was like a staple and all, even before like this was probably, I seen her like a year or two before she showed up on Impact as like even Lackey or whatever and stuff. She was I want to say Alexis LeRae was her independent name.
I think that's it.
And stuff. But yeah, I mean, I met her so many times like before she was a star. I mean, she was like one of the stars of the little indie. So I've always had a soft spot for her. But I think that her career is coming to an end.
Yeah, I remember I saw her at a show like 2015 maybe, but I think she wrestled Mandy Leone, and everyone like was chanting like every like 5 minutes, you still got it, and she just kept yelling back, I never lost it. I'm like not wrong. She can still go. You can't tell if she can still go because WWE never put her on TV. But that's Tom, where do you think Mickie James winds up?
I don't really care. I'm not a huge Mickie James fan. I think she's done enough to where if she wants to go out, she's going out on top. However she goes out, she's a very accomplished wrestler. It'd be cool to see her in NWA, even just popping in to just do promos or what have you. I don't know. Does NWA sing the national anthem? Because they could just have her do that all the time. Like
this generation's Lillian Garcia.
Oh, but better. Oh my God.
So that's what we'll stop there for our roundabout of where, because we'll be here on the Ryan.
One more, King, if I may.
You
Mojo
may
Rawley,
have the floor.
Thank you, Malish. Mojo Rawley will be FWF2 versus Cardona.
No, Mojo Rawley is going to officially sign with my Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Rob Gronkowski, 53rd man on the roster, Mojo Rawley. And if that does happen, I wear a size XL, and I would love a Mojo Rawley jersey for Christmas. Go Bucks.
Mojo's going to start working at the Sheetz gas station in Scranton, PA.
I just want to say before we move on too that I would love to see Bo Dallas land on his feet somewhere and somebody use Bo Dallas correctly.
It's sad, man. That
Because
was incredible on NXT.
Once again, when I started going to these NXT shows, when I was like really into NXT, he was the world champion and he was like feuding with Neville. That's when I first like started, and he was so good. I mean, he had such good heat. I just don't know how he messed it up.
I don't remember I think it was like the when Bo Dallas left like a loser, like if he loses, he leaves NXT match. And like they showed like after like the camera stopped rolling, like WWE.com exclusive. And it was like everyone chanting, Bo, leave, Bo, leave. He's like, I'm glad that you know the catchphrase, but I can't stay. They're like, Bo, and he doesn't get it. It goes on for like 10 minutes, and he just like leaves, and they just keep chanting, bye, or whatever. And then he pops back up. They're like, no, Bo, leave, Bo. Leave. It was like, how is this dude not doing something? And that dude made everything work that he was a part of, whether he was doing the Bo leave thing on NXT, the social outcasts, the B team. Dude's a multiple-time tag team champion. Is he multiple? One time? Dude's an NXT champion, for crying out loud. Like, come on. Like,
I was on the B team train. That was great.
All aboard. That homemade t-shirt they sold for $25. Jeez.
Someone call Ryan.
Speaking of t-shirts, you can buy the Wrestling Nerd Broadcast t-shirt that I'll be wearing next week at prowrestlingtees.com/the Wrestling Nerd Broadcast. And that's nerd spelled NRD. So
I'll be right back, guys. I need a couple minutes.
Oh, okay. Well,
are you gonna go buy a t-shirt?
I'm gonna go order that Wrestling Nerd Broadcast t-shirt. I've just
available in white and black now.
Yes, white and black.
Both sizes. I'll be back.
All right. So while Tom is meeting wrestlers in the bathroom, don't forget, folks, we are giving away the complete AEW Brawler Tech Deck set. So remember, we have 8 tasks that you complete to get 7 boards. They are amazing. So number 1 again is subscribe to this channel on YouTube, like episode 13 that we did with Brandon. Share that video and tag us on either Facebook or Twitter. Make sure you like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Subscribe or follow us on either Apple Podcasts or follow us on Spotify. Buy our shirt on prowrestlingtees.com/the Wrestling Nerd Broadcast. And join us and support us on Patreon. Any level you can be in Nick's Garage, Ryan's Vault, or right here with the King in the Dave Cave. So where did Tom say he was go? Oh my!
Hello there, it's me, the Commissioner, Harold the Puppet. And boy, oh boy, has it been a sad day in wrestling. People losing their jobs left, and right. But I've got a joke. You want to hear it?
Yes. We need a joke.
Have you ever realized that in wrestling, it's a bunch of people with no pants on in their undies fighting for a belt?
Yeah.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, if we all needed a smile today, please welcome back the Commissioner of the Wrestling Nerd Broadcast, Harold the Puppet. Harold the Puppet on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to Harold's channel. Plenty of great content. You can follow him on Twitter and Facebook as well. And Harold, you looked fabulous on night 1 of WrestleMania against Bianca Belair. I must say, you looked great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Bianca was very tough, but I tried to do my thing. Whoa! But I lost.
Well, you can't win them all.
No, you can't. And Harold, despite everything you threw in my way, you let Ryan sneak into the match. You let Margaret have a 3-year-old briefcase. But here I still stand as your king. Bow down, Harold. Bow down, baby.
Officially a heel, I see. Now you're the heel.
I told you I was gonna be a cocky baby face. I don't fear people throwing stuff in my way. I'm the king, baby.
Did anybody that ever won the King of the Ring, were they ever a babyface king?
Edge?
Um,
Billy Gunn?
The
I think
King gimmick doesn't really work as a baby face gimmick.
Launch Stone Cold's career. Maybe it'll launch this broadcast. We'll all remember the night that I won the crown. So Harold, what's that, Ryan?
Oh no, I was wondering. I had a question for Harold. Like, no, I'm not trying to be a heel here. It's just questions. I was just wondering if you have like a license. I never saw who appointed you. There's a podcast state board. I was just curious. I mean, I love you. I'm glad you're here. Just wondering how you came to be here for us.
Well, Ryan, I don't need the sauce, the attitude, the heel turn. That's Dave's job. But when I was born, my parents said, "Hey, Harold, the puppet, do you know that you were born to be the commissioner of the Wrestling N.R.D. broadcast in 2021? I said, "Oh, okay."
Okay,
Yeah, right. It was his birthright.
that's legit then. I understand.
It's almost like he's wrestling royalty.
Yeah.
Almost.
Oh.
I am wrestling royalty.
My uncle is Doink the Clown, and my cousin is Dink. Do, 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 do.
So okay.
Does that make Dink Doink's son? I never knew the lineage of the clown family.
Oh,
Don't
gonna
get
have-
it, Dave.
I'm gonna be. I promise.
We cracked the voice. We cracked the voice.
Cracked the voice. Welcome to puberty. The voice is cracked. There's a joke. Harold, I love the Fruit Loops banner behind you, by the way. Is Fruit Loops your favorite cereal?
Nope. But I found this fabric for $3 a yard, so I bought 2 yards. I like Lucky Charms. Marshmallow goodness. Oh, baby, baby, yeah.
Lucky Charms are overrated. I'm a Cinnamon Toast Crunch man myself. Hold the shrimp.
You're overrated.
There goes our Lucky Charms sponsorship.
I mean, they're okay. I just prefer. It's still General Mills. This segment brought to you by General Mills cereals. Well, Kellogg's technically.
We love you, Lucky Charms.
Yes, we love everyone. Anyone who wants to give us their money. Like Manscaped. Get your hair cut right like Harold and use Manscaped. Puppetscaped. So, Ryan, you look deep in thought again.
Oh no, well, I was wondering. You said Harold was like royalty. I know he had WrestleMania picks. Is Harold eligible for the crown? I didn't know if he was trying to thwart your heelness, Harold.
I let him in, and had he beaten us, he would have gotten to be the #1 contender. But you know what? I got a great idea. You know what? I got a really good idea. Harold, do you watch AEW?
Oh, yeah.
Will
My
you be
boy,
watching?
Kenny Omega. Bang.
Will you be watching Double or Nothing?
Yeah, I got a lot of money. I can afford that.
Then you know what? I'm going to let Harold in. And that's when I will defend this crown for the very first time against the nerds and against Harold. AEW, Double or Nothing.
Only fitting. Double or nothing.
The crown is on the line, ladies and gentlemen.
Does that mean if you win that you get 2 crowns?
That's not in the budget.
No.
We'll have to cut. We may have to cut somebody from the roster in order to afford a second crown. But you heard it here first, folks. NRD versus Harold DeP. What a matchup that's going to be. Should we all like just turn right now and be like,
I think I turn this way.
I can't wait to freeze frame that. That's going to be great. But so
Sometimes my arms don't bend the way I want. Sorry.
It's okay. So since we have our authority figure, Harold the Puppet, the commissioner of the Wrestling N.R.D. broadcast, we are going to do our top 3 Tuesday of favorite authority figures in wrestling. So Harold the Puppet, Commissioner Harold, we will let you go first on your top 3 favorite wrestling authority figures.
Well, I'd say that's pretty easy. You got one guy named Mick Foley. All 3, baby. Mick Foley. Dude Love. Cactus Jack. Mankind. That's my fella. He's my top 3. always.
I like it. I can get behind that. Commissioner Foley from Commissioner Harold. I like it. Ryan, top 3 favorite authority figures in wrestling. Who do you got?
Mick Foley did pop into my mind, but our wonderful commissioner, I was going to say lovely. He is lovely. He took that. So I'm going to go Teddy Long. You know, I thought maybe we're going to get a Teddy Long brawler in the recent crate, kind of throwing that up. That'd be kind of cool. Oh, see, that shows I missed it doing that. That's even better. That shows
1-on-1
much
with the
easier.
Undertaker player.
Yeah.
We're going 1-on-1 with Harold at Double or Nothing.
So yeah, Teddy Long would be cool. Maybe not. Maybe a surprise pick, but Mike Chioda, he has a Pro Wrestling T store. I'd like to see a referee, Micro Brawler. So maybe he has
technically an authority figure, referee. Okay.
Yeah. My honest other thought, in some realms, this might count. Ryan Barkin, he's an authority in wrestling. I don't know.
Okay.
Anywhere I can squeeze that in.
Nick, who are your top 3 authority figures in wrestling?
All right. Well, I'm gonna go with Gorilla Monsoon. Would be a cool one.
Okay.
I don't know if it would be like wrestling. I'm too young to remember wrestling Gorilla Monsoon, but I remember him as the authority figure.
I remember that. Yep.
Easy Eric Bischoff would be an easey one. I don't know if they could do like an NWO one, but they could I don't know. They could do something, I'm sure. And then Paul Heyman, ECW.
Yeah. Wow. You know what's amazing? None of us have any overlap. This is incredible because none of mine are those. So my top 3 Tuesday are going to be number 1, Jack Tunney, the president of the World Wrestling Federation. Loved Jack Tunney. Number 2 is Bob Barker when he was the guest GM on Monday Night Raw one night.
Guest GMs.
Yeah.
Oh.
And number 3, favorite wrestling authority figure, Harold the Puppet. Because if you don't like Harold the Puppet as the commissioner of the Wrestling Nerd broadcast, I don't think this show's for you.
Or you can sign me a petition to find out the validity of his license.
I'll get you my license, Ryan. Looking at email tomorrow.
That's the Wrestling Nerd broadcast 02, or what's our email? This is very tough.
WNRB.
You're missing a letter there, Chief. WNRDB.
Yes, I did it again. I've set up WNRDB.
You are worse than Dougie. And yes. But so speaking of yes, so before we go, we are going to bring back one of our favorite segments, and that is What the Fig, ladies and gentlemen. So yes,
a little jingle to go right
brought to you by Nature Bakery Fig Bars. So I was browsing for brawlers the other day, yesterday to be exact, and I went on Mercari. But we had a $2,000 X-Pac, right? And I thought, you know what, that's pretty insane. But you know what? Somebody tried to one-up them. Somebody put a $1,900 X-Pac brawler on Mercari. We'll put it on the screen so I don't show the phone as well. $1,900 for an X-Pac brawler. I don't know who put that on there. But
that's
they have.
Business.
I just want to always interject that I paid $100 for X-Pac, and I was outraged when I did it. I was like, I can't believe I'm paying $100 for this. Just want to always say that.
But yeah, so if you put up a $1,900, Harold, what do you think of a person selling an X-Pac brawler for $1,900?
Well, I think there's only one real price X-Pac can go for, and that's $6, $66, or $666.
You've heard it from the commissioner, ladies and gentlemen. I may be the king, but the commissioner will have one up on me. So, Harold, we thank you for joining us again. We will see you at Double or Nothing when you try to come at the crown. Hopefully you do better in this predictions round than you did at WrestleMania. But
I'll have to not pick my favorites and pick who I want to win. Because I'm here. I'm ready. That crown will be mine.
Maybe. Harold, where can people find you on social media?
I'm on Facebook, Harold__puppet. Same thing on Instagram, @Harold_puppet. And I'm on YouTube. Well, I don't have enough followers to have a custom YouTube, but look up Harold the Puppet on YouTube, please.
We will link Harold's YouTube channel in the comments section below. Again, don't forget our giveaway. We're giving away the AEW Tech Deck Brawler set. 8 tasks, 7 boards, 1 lucky winner. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/WNRDB, ProWrestlingTees.com/The Wrestling Nerd Broadcast, spelled NRD. We have black and white shirts for life. What else am I missing? Facebook, Twitter, WNRDB. Subscribe to this channel, like the video, share it with your friends, tell your friends all about us. Join the Micro Brawler fan group on Facebook.com. Anything else? Am I missing anything else, Ryan? Or are you just sending me home?
I'm telling people to come join us. Join the group.
Come on. Join us on Patreon, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, all this good stuff. Buy our merchandise, join our Patreon, subscribe to Harold's channel. And until next time, on behalf of myself, King DaveCTh, the voice, the founding father, Nick Carpenter, the Ugandan giant, Ryan Crossley, and of course, Harold the Puppet, the commissioner of the Wrestling N.R.D. broadcast. Don't forget to tell your mother you love her every day because, like Kevin Durant said, Mom, you're the real MVP. Good night, everyone, and God bless America.